Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Blades of Roses, a game of swashbuckling action, suspenseful intrigue, and let's be honest, the most threatening bouquets of wildflowers you have ever seen, all set in the world of 7th Sea. My name is Dan McCurdy. I am at RevDMC247 on TikTok, and I will be your storyteller this evening. And this is my wonderful table of players, starting with Marquis.
Hi everyone, I am Marquis1305. Any place you're allowed to find me. And I swear to God, those roses, they're not roses. They're freaking okay. They're Heather. I'm freaked out, okay? Kristoff, go!
I am the Sea Cow Explosion. I will be playing Kristoff, the resident old man, dad figure, possibly a necromancer, and still want to know what the places we're not allowed to find you are.
I am Salt, or Saltiest of Unicorns, Saltiest Unicorn on the TikToks. I'm playing Smoke, Sea Captain, and apparently Getaway Driver at some point. Go ahead, Juniper.
Holy shit. Hi, I am Tuck. You can find me everywhere at Tuck, I guess, and I am playing the Thieving Blood Witch, Juniper Gagnon. And all the places that you can find Marquis is beep, 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 beep. Yep. Cass.
Oh boy. Hi, I'm Nikki, aka Crafty Mirage on all socials. And I will be Lucrezia Castille de Marquez, aka Cass, the vagabundo who apparently had someone bleed all over her freaking hardwood floors.
And I can already tell this is going to be one of our more chaotic sessions, and I am absolutely here for it. So, in the last episode of The Blades of Roses, the party was returning to the city of San Juan with the crown of good King Sandoval in their possession, and weird as they started to learn that it was made of Draconeisen, and that was having weird effects on everything. There was also a bundle of flowers, of heather, that had been left on the bed of Mez, a gift from Mad Jack O'Bannon, and they didn't seem to be going bad. They were remaining dew fresh even after all that time in the salty sea air, getting back into town. They learned that there was a search on by the Inquisition for anyone from Montaigne, especially on any suspicion of blood sorcery. Oh, this is going great. And as the party was looking into that, trying to figure out, they found out that one of the three boys who were beginning to work as thieves under Juniper's guidance, Alejandro, had vanished. There was all sorts of stuff happening.
I got the song stuck in my head!
Kristoff, in an attempt to draw attention away from Juniper, did his job entirely too well, and ended up being taken off to Cass's house, actually, where he finally got to meet in his home Inquisitor Paulo de Marquez, whose house was one of the ones targeted by the blood mages that seemed to be stealing things from all sorts of the finer houses. While that was being looked into, Juniper himself encountered some of these blood thieves, blood witches, and encountered them, had a fight, left one of them concussed out on the street. He himself ran away, and in the meantime, in the midst of all of this, a shrouded and cloaked figure appeared to some members of the party. Face half covered in a porcelain mask and leaving cards that, while they didn't mean much to the characters, our players know that they were starting to receive their arcana, the cards that guide their fate. And so, the crowd was cheering and jeering. There is a sound when a crowd is excited, and a sound when a crowd is ready for blood, and this is both. People chanting, stamping their feet, shouting, and roaring, a roar louder than San Juan usually ever experiences. And up in the middle of the town square is the gallows, arranged with ropes hanging down from it. Standing on the stage, Paolo de Marquez, reading out the crimes of those on the platform behind him, those who had betrayed the Vaticine faith and the people of Castille for the theft of the crown of good King Sandoval. And there behind him is Magdalena, Ignacio, and Eliseo de Marquez. Ropes around each of their necks. Cass, you stand on the roof of the great meeting hall, one of the finest buildings in San Juan, where once a week the faithful of San Juan come to celebrate the teachings of the prophets, and you look down from this vantage point in your Las Vagabundo mask. You see them there. You hear the cheering of the crowds, and you can hear your father speaking, though you cannot make out his words. What do you do?
Am I in a good vantage point to throw my knives if I have to?
It would be a very long throw from this distance. You would need to get very lucky to hit with a thrown knife from this distance. You are very high up, and it is a very broad and open.
From what I know about execution procedures, does it sound like he is almost done?
It sounds almost like he's waiting for the crowd to hit a certain crescendo. It feels almost more like a performance. You're not sure. And oddly, this for many people is just what the Inquisition is, but it doesn't happen often in San Juan. In fact, you can't remember the last one your father presided over.
Do I see any other officials presiding over this?
Oh yeah, there is actually a almost like VIP section set up with risers so that the town elders, other members of the Inquisition, and certain selected grandes can see. And there, it's almost a carnival atmosphere. They have special glasses to get a particularly good view of the goings-on.
And do I see any familiar faces?
Looking around, looking in the crowd, you see some neighbors in the crowd. People who you've known all your life. The Lopez family is there, and they all seem to be caught up in this moment, all of them cheering for what is coming.
Am I alone?
You glance around, and at first, you just sort of assume that you are, because typically when you're running around on the rooftops, you are in fact alone. But now as you look, you start to notice that you are absolutely not alone. There are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you realize the entire plaza on various rooftops is surrounded by others of Las Vagabundo.
Because we do not allow those who did not commit the crime to be punished. This is all according to plan, then. We have a plan. Do I know the plan?
You think about it, and yeah, you know the plan. You look over, and on the rooftop nearest to you is Mateo. And he just looks over to you and gives you a reassuring nod, and then a wait. And you remember, you're leading this mission. They're waiting on your word to rescue your family.
I will give the word to those who are more talented at hitting the mark, which is the ropes. And order them to get cut as soon as the platform thing. What is it called?
The gallows, the trapdoor.
The trapdoor. Yeah, the trap whenever the trapdoor is about to. So that way they fall to safety.
And you remember, as you're looking all of this and the plan's coming back to your mind, you have a way to get to the stage quickly. To be there to prevent them from being harmed by anyone with swords. What was your plan?
My plan was to create a smokescreen, almost. A distraction, so no one would actually look at them, look at something else, which probably some vagabundos. And then while they're creating the distraction, we throw some cloaks, peasant cloaks, over them, and have them disappear into the crowd where we are escorting them out of the crowd, through the crowd.
All right. The moment comes. The trapdoors fall away. You run forward and leaping from the roof where you were holding, you you have a pair of chain manacles easily removed for you, but you're able to toss them over a guiding rope down, and you start going down as all around the plaza there's the ripple of gunfire, and it does not bother you at all. As these pistols go off, the ropes are severed, your family falls through the stage, and you land and you watch as the cloaks are being thrown over your family, pulling them away, and you stand up, and right there next to you is Mateo. He pulls out his sword as you pull out yours, and both of you watch as Paolo de Marquez turns. But his complexion has shifted. It's changed. It's him. You can still see him in there, but it's as if half of his face is his, and the other wears an eye patch over it. And there's another face that you know you've seen before, but you've never been able to put a name to. You smack him, apparently. No. And he pulls out his sword and his dagger and says, "The will of the prophets will be done. It will not stop, not even for you."
I will draw my own sword and dagger, and I will hold him off until until I hear the signal that they've gotten my family to safety.
He and Mateo rush together, and you have this moment of you're fighting with Mateo. This moment, though you fought with Mateo before. This is something you've done, and yet it feels like it's the very first time you've ever done it, or like the second time, and you're going there, and it's distracting you as the two of you. But your father is so good with his sword and dagger. It's taking both of you to even hold him at bay, and you're watching. It's taking longer. Like it feels like everyone around you is moving in slow motion as your sword is slashing and fighting, your dagger going back and forth, and just desperately trying to hold him off. And then suddenly he pulls up his dagger and chucks it, and it catches your arm and pins it to the gallows. And as you are trying to pull it out to free yourself, he pulls a pistol and fires point blank into Mateo. And you watch as Mateo collapses onto the platform in front of you, a pool of blood spreading around him. And your father looks up at you. "Now, little one, let's see if you're still just playing games."
I'm going to charge at him.
And as your swords are coming together in a great clash, suddenly you wake up. You're on a couch in your home. Next to you, snoring gently, is Magdalena. her hand still gripping your arm. You had just sat down for a second, just to talk to her, just to make sure she was at ease. But you didn't get much sleep the night before sailing in to San Juan, and you fell asleep, and you look out, and there's darkness coming in from the windows. You had planned to go to the fort to learn what you could from the interrogation that was happening. Do you still plan on doing that?
Yes.
And are you going as Lucrezia or as Cass?
I'm going as Cass.
Masked?
No. I'm going to go as Lucrezia at first, but bring everything I need in case I need to make an appearance as Cass.
All right. You start putting your stuff together. As you move, there's a moment when your mother kind of rustles a bit, and it's clear she's kind of padding around looking for you. Half, not fully awake.
I'm going to help her take her to bed before I go.
You step over and are easily able to guide her to bed, and as she goes to lay down, she reaches up and she pats your face. And not in a condescending way, almost touching you to make sure you're real. And then she smiles and goes, "I'll always be so proud." And lays down. And with that, you're able to steal out into the night and start heading up towards the fort of San Juan. Meanwhile, at the base of the Serena, Misara and Juniper, having had a rather intense conversation in Junie's room, come out. You can see down, Smoke is in her chair reading. No sign of Kristoff, who went to his room pretty quietly upon returning to the Beso. And you all know that Cass was planning on spending the night with her family. What are we doing?
I was actually staying with the ship.
Right.
Because of the crown, so I'm staying there.
Okay.
It's quiet, and I can continue reading my book.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, we need to find the boy.
Yeah.
And, Junie, much as I appreciate you and all your talents, I have a feeling we're going to need a bit more, muscle than either of us have.
Oh. Yeah. Well. It's a fucking mess.
Well, this is a mess involving those under our care. So we must be cleaning it. We have our duties to them.
That is true. Who
So-
were you thinking as muscle?
Do you want to be the one to go fetch Kristoff, or shall I?
Oh, shit. Okay, I got this.
You got this, are you sure?
No.
Alright.
I don't know how this is gonna work because it's a delay.
Alright, let's try this again. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Fuck! He's just... Damn it. Alright, fine.
Well,
fine.
you have fun with that. I'm going to send a quick messenger over to Smoke to let her know that we're doing things. Hi?
Yeah.
Who are you sending?
Sending literally... We're going off on adventure! Kristoff is coming! Love you!
You sending Kara? You sending just...
Just a runner.
Okay.
Kara has enough on her plate right now.
Poor bean.
We're
Actually,
not involving her.
Kara by this point has come back. She'd gone shopping, but it's now later in the day. It's evening, and she is actually she came in with a whole bunch of packages, looking very overwhelmed. And so last you saw her, she was kind of going through these in actually in your room, Masara, because you're going to be the one who tells her which of these to wear when she wears them. So, so Juniper, you go up to Kristoff's door.
Yes, I will. I'm going to look at the door. Fuck. And just boop, 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 boop.
Hearing the knocks and knowing that not a whole lot of other people would be knocking on my door, likely. Internally, taking a moment to compose myself, present the proper forward image, and then, yeah.
It's me, Junie. Can I talk to you for a bit?
Since when do you knock?
I'm decided to be polite today.
What's wrong?
Shit.
Go open the door.
And Junie was just kind of smiling, like,
What'd you do, or what'd Mez do?
wow. I love how you just assumed that either of us did it, so we need to save. It's Alejandro we need to save, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need to save Alejandro, and in Mez's words, as strong as I am, Juniper, we need extra muscle and someone who is more wiser than us. So can you come with us to help save him, please, so we don't get in trouble?
You don't even have the sentence out before I've got this Lyhander, and I'm basically pushing you down the hallway.
Okay.
Tell me everything. Who's got him? Where are we going?
You know, that is a very good question.
Did you let Smoke know yet?
I believe that is what Mez is doing.
Hi.
Alejandro's missing. The
Hmm.
boy that we're supposed to be taking care of and teaching how to be
Look, hold on a moment.
a better criminal. Oh, we are.
Give me half a second. We were not teaching them to be a proper criminal.
Whoa.
We were teaching them to be a perfectly good citizen of this particular country.
Right. Perfect citizen.
And in that, he happened to take a job up in the higher parts of town and hasn't returned from that job. But Junie has a bit of a bead on him.
Whoa.
So the kid you're teaching how to be a thief, or the kid that's being taught how to be a thief, is this area busy right now?
Not particularly.
Okay. So the person we're teaching how to be a better thief, under the tutelage of a teleporting blood witch, went uptown to a district they got no business being in.
Look, it was not my idea.
Well, you know, they aren't aware that I am
Get Smoke. I need to make a stop somewhere before we do this. I will meet you. Where should I meet you and when? Which way are we going?
Junie,
This is
you have
gonna-
to...
Yeah,
the
this
thing,
is gonna look creepy. Just don't judge me, Kristoff. And he'll pull.
I already did enough of that.
And he'll pull up, and you see like a giant tattoo just around his entire forearm, and he'll point to like a weird dot, like embedded in his skin. That is where he is, and it is in a very dangerous place. I'm pretty sure if I went, I would get shot a lot, and I mean a lot.
Is that a magical map on your arm?
Yes, it's a fucking magical map on my arm.
You've had this the whole time. We could have been using it, and we're just...
No. Okay,
I've got to go shopping.
All right.
What? Apologies, why are you going shopping?
I need to pick something up for this.
For what?
I'm reading between the lines. We need to jailbreak Alejandro here, it seems.
Possibly. I mean, that was a bit of the reason why we were going to the Inquisitor's house in the first place and caught you there, because we were trying to see if he had him.
And then I tackled someone out of a window. But besides the fact,
there was that, and
I love this low profile we're keeping while we've got.
Just as a reminder, you've been able to determine.
Go shopping.
Just as a reminder, you've managed to determine that neither the town guard nor the Inquisition has.
Yes. So we don't know who has him at this particular moment, which is why we have to be doing this part.
Well, about that.
What do you mean about that?
Well, I have an idea of maybe.
I'm sorry. What? No. You and I, we're going to find Smoke. We're letting Kristoff do the shopping without me, apparently. Here, have a couple of coins.
Do you just have that in your pocket?
This ain't that kind of shopping.
What do you mean?
No, we're not. I know what he means. Not a time to discuss it. Let's go.
All right, so we're going to go do the thing, and you're going to go do the thing, and you're not going to be yelling at us because we're trying to be responsible about this.
Trying and failing.
I'm not yelling.
You're yelling.
I need to go shopping.
All right. All right, come on,
As I say, I'm not yelling while yelling.
So, Juniper, while we're on this, you're going to be drinking water, and I'm going to be drinking water.
What? Water, yeah, You don't like it as much as I don't like it.
5 for 5, recommending water on the Blades of Roses.
Whiskey is mostly made.
4 for 5. 4 for 5. There was one episode we didn't do it.
We did end up getting it in last episode. We thought we did it, but we did.
Oh, okay.
Because Junie was talking about drinking water, and then all of us drink.
Yep.
In any case, so we're going to be drinking water, and we're going to be making our way down to the ship. So let's go do that.
All right.
So right now we will be. Let's go ahead. First, we'll follow Masara and Juniper. You're able to move pretty quickly because, again, Beso de Serena is
right there.
Right by the docks. It's just now an unreasonably nice place for a docks bar, and you are able to move through and get to. Actually, I seem to remember you got a pretty good docking spot too. So you're able to pretty quickly get to the Cerulean Tides. Jonathan recognizes you quickly and just you to come aboard.
All right. So are you going to be? Well, no, it was my job to be telling her. Right?
It is your turn. I almost got my head cut off.
You would not have cut off your head. Might have stabbed you a little bit, but.
Have you seen that sword? Yours is a pokey poke. His is a.
Excuse me, I can get to poke it.
Yeah, move on. That's just.
All right.
Your turn.
My turn. Knock, knock, knock. Yes, even my knocks have an Irish accent.
Holy shit.
Sort of like how Cass cries in Spanish.
Bleeding, dying, or dead?
Not yet. Possibly. Possibly.
All right. Come on in.
So, before you're starting on anything, we're trying to be doing the right thing. Let me just set that straight. So you know the part where Alejandro was missing and we were trying to find information about him? We found the information that the Inquisition does not have him. However, neither do the guards, and he's possibly still in the Rich District. And we know this because someone has a map of the city tattooed onto their arm, and it has a little dot that follows them about.
I can explain how that works. You don't have to keep saying it like it's just a map where I can just find everyone in the city.
No, you have a map, you find specific people on it. You're stalking us.
No, I am not.
You're stalking us.
I am
Actually,
not stalking you.
Juniper, when you showed the map, did it have the dots of everything you currently have marked? Oh, yes. There were a number of those dots.
It was like a little over 20. Yeah.
Including a vial of your blood that I still have on me.
Oh, yeah, no, that one is a big, like, red dot. So it's just like a beam at her house.
Oi, you're stalking us.
I am...
Fucking wanker.
Oh, first off,
All right.
I can turn this shit off if I want. Okay?
Do I need
Well,
to throw
don't-
either one of you off the ship?
No.
Throw him off the ship.
Right
The
now.
very thing
Off
he's
the
not
fucking
here and
ship.
back up it.
Fuck you. I'm trying to be nice and be protective of my friends, and now I'm getting accused.
Oi!
Okay.
So, we have a missing charge.
Fine.
We know where they're at because we are lucky enough to have a magical map. I don't even want to know about said magical map.
No.
Just keep it hidden so that you don't get like hung or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was the idea.
that's another thing is that there might have been others like him in the city, and I might have been pointing them out to the Inquisition.
You fucking what? you fucking
My
what?
Donna's termite-ridden peg leg. You are telling me that we are going to have so many people up whole. Okay.
Look, it was
One problem at
first
a
of all,
time.
Junie had already left the scene, mostly.
Yeah, but now there's a possibility that they have
Well,
Alejandro.
it's not a possibility. They definitely have the one person that you had flashed onto the floor.
Oh shit!
I was standing right there next to the Inquisitor. What were you expecting me to do?
I'm
Be like, no, Inquisitor, look the other way. That's not the one you're looking for.
That was smart. Oh god. Okay,
He
we
now
need to get
trusts us.
Alejandro.
He trusts
We need
Kristoff
to
enough to
get-
let him into his home and look at the blood magic that was possibly happening on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I would like for you to know that mine is better than theirs. So
Oh, well, that's good because apparently they were spilling all sorts of blood enough to make it look like they were killing a person.
well,
Okay.
I can.
Okay. No more arguing right now. We're wasting time.
Oh,
Precious
fine,
time.
yes.
For Alejandro, our first issue to solve.
I was trying to solve it, and then someone else was.
Enough. We've got it. I'm assuming you're coming and telling me because you need an extra sword. You need some extra muscle. to go with-
Kristoff told us to come and tell you.
Obviously. It's like herding cats around here. Okay. You have a map, right? That's what that whole thing is. So the real question is, can you tell what building or what area of the city that is actually in?
All right. Don't freak out. And then,
No, you need to be turning your head because you did not want to be seeing the magical map. Do you remember that?
I'm
So,
gonna-
for the record, San Juan's a pretty big town. As of right now, you don't have like a direct location. You have a direction.
direction. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he just kind of looks at it in the. So the way it works is that, like, you know how like in a video game where the little ping is just kind of pushing in direction, but not showing you exactly where it is. That's
So
kind of
kinda
what the bead is doing.
So instead of a bead, it's the radius.
Radius, basically. Yeah.
How many marks do you have on the boat right now?
Shit. Because we moved some of our stuff there, right?
Uh-huh.
So I think so. There's one on Mazar, there's one on Smoke. There's shut up. You don't know this.
There's one on you
and
because
there's-
the ring is marked.
the one oh yeah. And there is 4 other things which are like necklaces and other rings. Because
So
they're
we
easy
have a
to
large
fill.
concentration of them around us.
Yep.
All right.
Mhm.
And as you all are looking over the map and you sort of maneuver deeper into the room, all of a sudden the map starts to fade.
What the fuck?
Get out of the room.
Oh, get out of
It's the thing, isn't it?
Oh, that's fucking hell. And then he'll leave out of the room and doesn't come back.
Immediately.
Are you mean to telling me
So
we don't want
now-
to be talking about that? We're going to continue on.
Yeah,
We're gonna
that's,
keep moving.
Why? We're just going to. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. Adding
Yeah.
that to the list of things.
well, I know the general direction of where he is. So
Right. So
Can you lead us
we
there?
need to be meeting Kristoff.
Yeah.
who was shopping, and apparently not with coin.
Yep, I can tell you where he is, and and Juniper just like pointing the direction on his arm where he is.
You fucking stalking us!
I am not. I can turn it up, and then like he'll let it fade, and then the beats kind of sink into his skin. It's really gross. And he's like, "See."
We're adding this to the list of things I don't want to be talking about. Bring us to Kristoff.
Yep, there's like 3 other things I can do that you probably should know about. All right. And then he'll make his way off the boat and start walking to where Kristoff is.
All right.
So as you all start heading towards Kristoff, where are you going shopping?
Well, having been in the city for a while, I imagine that I would at least have some idea where a man of my particular craft could go to maybe go shopping.
You do. In your time working and guiding the Inquisition, giving them your Eisner experience in how to handle the undead, you know exactly where the town morgue is.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
And you walk up, you get there, and it's late. The people have gone home. There is a guard looking kind of bored, standing outside, leaning against the wall. He's here fairly regularly, and so has met you before.
Do I know his name? What's his name? I'm sure I know his name.
Let's call him Lance.
Lance. Strong Castilian name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lance, they got you on shift here again?
Well, no, it's not bad. The people out don't want in, and the people in don't want out. Better than jail.
Presumably.
Fair. Sort of. I guess that's more your job than mine.
Speaking of which, I need to test something. I was up at the Inquisitor's house earlier.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything, but there were some Montaigne blood witches evidently in the area. They called me in for some advisement.
You get all the fun jobs.
It's not an Ison type of weird, but it got me thinking about something. And if you don't mind, I would like to check some of the interred bodies for a peculiarity that might give us, well, maybe a little bit of a leg up on any possible problems that might come up. It's just a hunch. It might not pan out, but just something I want to check.
Well, we burned all the ghoul victims like you told us to, but I think we got a couple in there now. You can certainly take a look.
That'd be great. And actually, I don't need a ghoul. I need unfortunately, one of the departed. But I got a hunch, and it's probably a wrong hunch, but I just want to make sure. There's some things you can test for when it comes to, well, the sorts of problems that we had to take care of. And I just want to make sure that none of that is present on the off chance.
You get the feeling that this guy's pretty used to people just coming in and out, and his only job is, if you have the authority to be there, he doesn't have the authority to keep you out, and so he appreciates your explanation, probably understands very little of it, nods, and opens up the door for you.
Cool. I'm going to go in and go shopping.
All right. What are you shopping for?
I need something's heart.
All right. You walking in, there are... Let's use a die. Why not? I hardly ever roll. Yeah, there are four corpses laid out. One apparently a drunk that fell awkwardly off of a balcony and broke his neck on impact.
Any violent trauma? Bodies that have been a bit more damaged?
There is that's probably the worst. There's one that died of old age, and of the other two, you know what? Odd or even?
Odd.
there is someone who died in a duel that went bad.
Excellent. Well, not excellent that they're dead, but, you know, Castilians are going to Castille, and they may as well do something useful.
Mhm.
Don't give me that look, Cass. Your people love their duels a little too much. I am going to, as whatever the modicum of speed and respect I can manage, I'm going to cut their heart out and then try to sew it back up.
That's actually interesting. Let's call that a risk if you do this in a way that will draw later attention and make people think, oh goodness, is there a Hexa in town on top of a Blood Witch? So let's go ahead and do finesse plus...
That can I sell you on scholarship, since that's literally the skill for medicine?
Yep. That makes total sense. Finesse and scholarship.
All right. And first time is...
So this is, you're trying to get the components you need, leaving as little... I'm going to say there are 3 levels of risk for each one you manage to get rid of. It's less likely to be noticed when the bodies are eventually embalmed and handled.
I know anybody that examines it is going to know that this person was cut open, but at the very least try to make it look proper and medical and not like a grave robber.
Yeah.
Oh. 3 raises. And
right.
1 left over. Would you like to buy one?
I will buy one of those.
I've never done that before. It's my first.
All right.
Thanks for
get an
never
extra
forget
hero
your first
point,
time.
sir.
We're terrible people.
And you are able to cut in. You are able to get the heart and any other components you're looking for.
There, as long as I'm there and being literally a terrible person, no, actually, I think anything else I have is still left over from last time. And also, I'm not expecting to have to fight undead, and there's not a lot that I do when we're not dealing with the undead.
Okay. So you're able to handle all the things you handle, and you, once again, here you are in the morgue. Anything else? Or are you just ready to check out?
That's it. I'm going to head out.
You walk out the door. Were you able to find what you were looking for?
Yeah, the old lady still the one that takes care of the corpses in here, prepping them for burial and everything?
Yeah.
I don't remember her name.
Oh, Martina.
Yeah, if she asks, just let her know I came by. I'll spare you most of the details. There's a substance that can accumulate in the heart sometimes with people that have been fallen prey near the undead. I was checking for that. I didn't see it in the body that I checked, and I think we're in the clear. But if she asks, just let her know. Send her my way if anything comes of it.
He totally understands everything you just said.
As uncomfortable as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
He locks the door up behind you. Meanwhile, we are going to shift over to Cass. You are so the fortress of San Juan stands on a hill that gives it a good. It's able to overlook the bay. It has cannons that it can bring to bear on any ships that are attempting to breach into the bay, and it is also the primary headquarters of the Inquisition in town. Most of the political stuff and the work of the Grandes and everything tends to happen either in the governor's palace or in some of the smaller town hall type areas that are around town. You always know that when your father comes here to work, he's going to be grumpy when he gets when he gets back home, and he doesn't come here often. And you are working your way up the path to the fortress.
I would have brought some food from home to make it look like I am just here to visit my father and make sure he has something proper to eat.
Okay. You're able to walk up, and the guards kind of... They're not used to being approached. The fortress is an excellent place to avoid. It also is home to the town dungeon. And so for a second, their spears kind of cross, but then one of them recognizes you and goes, "Oh, Senorita de Marquez, what can we do for you this evening?"
And she'll just hold up the little, very Red Riding Hood style basket. Just, I was out of town for a couple of days, and I know my father was worried for me, so I wanted to bring him some lunch or some dinner. He's been away from the house most of the day.
So there's two of them, a younger one and an older one, and the younger starts into, "Well, we're really not supposed to," and the older one leans in and goes, "She's just trying to be a good daughter, and you don't typically stop people from bringing things to the head Inquisitor unless you have reasons, so this will be fine." And they pull back, grab the door, and
Gracias.
pull them open, and you're able to walk in. You've been here before, but it's not like there's bring your daughter to work day, and so you are not entirely certain where you are going.
Before they close the door, she'll just, which way is it again?
And
she's gonna look as lost. She's gonna try to make it look like she's just as naive and lost as possible. So, it's what Marquis doing.
And he points you towards the up in the southwest tower, I believe, is where his office is.
Gracias. And she'll head in that direction.
Close the door. Are you heading to his office?
I am taking the long way. I'm going to head towards that direction, but I am definitely not rushing, and I'm taking the long way, and I'm making sure that I have sort of the look of just like that I'm lost just in case.
All right, so you are moving in a place where you are very definitely not supposed to be. You do have reasonable cover for why you are there. However, you don't have any sort of escort or anything, and other guards in the fortress do not know that you are there, and so are likely to be spotted. What is your approach as you are maneuvering? Are you looking for information? Are you trying to avoid?
I'm trying to keep my ears open for information.
All right, then we will go ahead and have you roll your, let's call this, because you're going for info, your wits plus notice.
And I get an additional die.
A die for flair.
Okay, wits and notice. All right. It's not a bad pool for me.
So on this, there are, I'm going to call it 2 risks of being spotted by someone who isn't going to immediately accept while you're there, and also an opportunity.
Two raises.
2 raises. All right, so...
I have 2 dice left over.
Do you want to sell one of them?
I will sell one of them.
Okay.
And that's a hero point, right?
Yep. Hero point for you, danger point for me. Right, yeah, that's right. So you can get the thing done and avoid one of these guards that are moving around. You can get the thing done and find the opportunity, but then you're going to bump into more than one guard.
I'm going to take the opportunity.
All right. You are moving around and just kind of listening, and one of the things you've partially discovered in your time, and also was sort of brought to you with your train with Mateo, is that when you are in places like this, people tend to be looser with their lips. Like, they think this is an Inquisition-controlled building. It's safe for me to talk here and stuff like this, and people are saying, and there's a couple of guards walking along, and they are talking about the prisoners. And while they are talking about prisoners, they're mentioning, is it an actual blood witch? What do we do with that? Well, the Inquisitor certainly seems to think so. He's taking a number of precautions with that. Do we tell him about the Eisner? No, he doesn't need to know about the Eisner. He's got his hands full with this. They can cool their heels in the dungeon for a while, and then we'll tell him once all of this has died down. And then they walk off, and as you're kind of peering down the hallway, trying to get a sense of what it was you just heard, who goes there? And 2 guards walk up. Senorita?
Hi, I'm sorry. I think I got extremely turned around. I was bringing something for my father to eat, and I think I got lost.
The guards look back and forth. Your father?
Si, Count de Marquez, the head inquisitor.
You're not supposed to be...
I know, but I was out of town for a couple days, and he was worried about me, and I just wanted to bring him something to eat as just to make up for worrying him so much.
Fine. Manuel, take her to his office. You're well out of your way, ma'am. And he just kind of gives a bit of a grunt and walks on, but it's sort of clear, I am not being paid enough to arrest the Inquisitor's daughter right now. And so he walks off, and the other starts leading you up.
So do I also get a hero point for my spy quirk since I took great risk to uncover a secret?
You sure do.
Yeah.
You sure do.
Yes.
They lead you through and lead you up to the office where Paolo is looking over some notes. Bringing you in, it's pretty quickly obvious that wherever the prisoner is, it is not in here, probably down in the dungeons, and he's looking over some things. Lucrezia, what are you doing here?
She just holds up a basket, the basket of food.
Come on in.
She'll head on in, set the basket down, and I'm kind of just make it look kind of just glance over without kind of just wanting to see what it is on this desk without actually making it look like I'm snooping at it.
So the main thing on the desk seems to be a map of the city, and you can see all of the locations that his smaller map had marked, plus it appears a couple others have now been marked, other wealthy estates and things like that. And there are some loose leaf papers around, and there's one that in what appears to be his hand scratch, which is weird. He typically doesn't take notes when he's interrogating someone. It's pretty traditional for him to have a scribe there to write things down for him. But you're not able to get a good enough look to read any of those notes.
I'm going to start taking things out of the basket and clearing the desk a little bit to try to make some room for it. And I'm going to try to make that paper one of them.
Okay, so...
And I'm trying to kind of gather them in a stack for him.
Let's see your... Let's go for finesse and hide, unless you want to try to talk me into something else. Hide or convince, I suppose.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Hide or convince.
It's the same.
Okay, and I'm going to put 3 levels of alarm with what you're doing, and as much as you're able to tamp that down will kind of determine his reaction.
So basically it's a 3 raise the risk. Okay. That one went flying. I will get it later. Oh, thank God. And here's the last one. Okay. I got exactly 3 raises.
All right. So you're able to do the thing. He kind of steps over to you like you, and he's kind of just sort of helping to clear away too. But the paper in particular that you were interested in is not one of the ones that he seems to be moving away from your vision as well. Though there is a bit of it's a hard to read look, like oddly similar to looks he'd given you when he knew that you were sneaking candy but didn't mention it to your mom. And he kind of turns and looks, and as you're able to look at the paper, you see it is him writing down notes, what he's been able to get out of the Blood Witch. The Blood Witch is denying that they are a Blood Witch. They are saying that they are a member of the Carteristas, and that things have been kind of rough there lately, and he's had to fight a lot of fights, and that's why he's been as cut up as he is. He is speaking of, and you don't see any mentions in your quick look over of Juniper.
Okay. And I'm just going to casually just set it down. Sorry, I just wanted to see how you were because Mommy kind of hogged it, and I know you were probably just as worried as she was.
I like to consider myself a decent judge of character, and while I do not doubt that the princess will find a fair amount of trouble to get you into, you're both very competent young women, and I imagine you will be able to get out of trouble, or at least if the trouble gets too big, she has shown a willingness to come to people who can actually deal with the problem. And so I was worried, but not... I don't know what she said to you, but she was terrified it would be the last thing she said.
Cass is just kind of just frowning a little bit. She might have been talking about how I didn't realize she saw. Oh, she realized I was in the hallway. I thought I just overheard her by accident, but same thing as always. That boys were easier.
He has something of a conflicted look on his face, and he looks at you and goes, "All you need to know is that both of your parents love you very much. But parents always mess things up. You are different from your brothers in some interesting ways. But we both love you. We're both very proud of you."
Can I kind of try to key in on what's kind of going through his, like, what's going through his head right now?
Mostly, you've seen him concerned about you before. Often in the context of your mom being your mom. But it's blink and you'll miss it. And when it's past, you're almost not sure it was there. There was a second of a pretty hot flash of anger behind his eyes. But gone so fast, you're almost doubting that you saw it in the first place. Well, you don't doubt it. Cass maybe doubts it a little bit. Now, by the fact that you came here under escort, I imagine that...
I got lost.
All right.
But I should be able to find my way out this time. I was keeping an eye on the things that were on the wall so I can find my way out this time.
Okay. Here, and he grabs a badge, actually, and hands it to you. That shows that you're here with my approval, but you need to get out quickly. You know how they are around here.
Of course. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. And I appreciate all of this, obviously. It's going to be a long night.
Maybe come home less grumpy.
This is not a part of the job I've ever enjoyed.
I know. Sorry.
Sometimes it has to happen. We all do what we have to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he gives you a nod, gives you a little hug, and then goes back to his desk.
All right. As I am heading out, I do have the badge. Do I see any... I would imagine that in a fortress like this, all the windows are sort of barred.
The ones up here are not, just because it's be almost a sheer climb up very tightly made stone to get to it. And also they're basically arrow slits, murder holes, that kind of thing. So no big grand views.
So basically what I'm trying to determine is if there is, on my way around, if there is a window that's kind of like not too public, that I can sort of sneak a rope onto. That's kind of just
Interesting.
for later.
I would say if you would like to spend a hero point to create an opportunity.
I will spend a hero point to create an opportunity. Gladly, because I had 3.
All right. Yeah, the fortress is built to hold a large military force in a time when it might be under siege. It is not currently that.
Didn't I take another risk earlier trying to get that information from my father's handwriting? Wouldn't that be
I'm
my
going to put that all in the. This is all one big
fine
existence of that, and that was your dad. That was not a huge risk.
Whatever. Okay, so yeah, I spend a hero point. I am trying to create an opportunity for myself for later.
Mm-hmm. There is now on the seaward side of the fortress, which does not get seen very clearly often, a rope part of the way down. It'll still be a little bit difficult to get because you didn't happen to be carrying like 100 feet of rope on you, but you were able to find
it's enough.
It'll certainly make it easier to break into the fortress should you ever need to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But the longer it's there, the more likely it gets discovered at some point.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry. I'm just working on it for tonight.
Okay. Anything else you're getting up to, or are you heading out?
I'm gonna head out to make it so that way it appears that I have left.
Okay. You are visibly seen by guards. You're able to show them the badge. They are visibly relieved that the Inquisitor is not mad that they let you in, and you were able to get out to the main gates. Meanwhile,
I am keeping the badge.
Kristoff, as you are coming out of, walking away from the morgue and trying to get a feel of, okay, where's the best place I can go so that they can find me. All of a sudden, here comes Smoke, Juniper, and Masara walking straight towards you as if they knew exactly where to find you.
I'm going to look at them. I'm going to look at Junie. I'm going to look at Mez. It was one of y'all two, and I don't need to know which.
Perhaps.
Entirely.
Or maybe we just guessed very well where you were going.
It was his thing.
Yeah.
If you were that lucky, you would already have Alejandro.
Now, wait just a moment. I would say that we are very lucky at times. This just does not happen to be one of them.
No. But I feel like an explanation of 2 of my capabilities should be talked about, so that way there's no surprise.
No.
Not in the public.
Nope.
Okay.
You do the things. We don't need to talk about how you do the things.
Cool. I am okay with this arrangement. This is originally what I was wanting to not happen, but then things happened and I had to show everything. So that's the thing.
Yeah. I wonder what that's like. In any case, we're going to go in the general direction, and then it's supposed to get more pinpointed from there, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we have no idea where we're actually heading. We're just heading in a direction.
Well, I do know that where we are going, there's going to be a lot of guards, and possibly.
And we have about 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 42 seconds until sunset.
How the fuck?
No, it's sun. Sun has set. It is.
Oh, sun has set. Oh, until zenith then.
Okay.
Until
Okay.
the moon hits at zenith.
So, other than Kristoff, it's about to sound so insulting. I just realized what I was about to say.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna say, other than Kristoff, how fast can you guys run? Meaning, can you keep up with me?
I'd like to think I'm very speedy, but I'm also very small.
Right. Because I'd rather, the four of us not just walk up to wherever we're going. So if by any chance I can run on rooftops, someone is with me, staying very well hidden with me, while whoever can see really well can see me giving directions. Do you guys know thieves' hand signs? Yes, no.
I'm thinking a good plan is that you tell us where to go and we just walk right on up.
But this is much cool. Okay, fine.
Son, you go on ahead and I will catch up. I am sure that you will look cool where none of us can see you or keep up.
Fair.
Or
Okay.
Now,
So-
give me just a moment. I'm perfectly fine on rooftops. I'm just not good at the hiding myself bit.
Oh boy. Maybe I can teach you sometime, I guess. Nonetheless. Okay.
Hi.
They are DM, where are they? Like in what direction? Like southwest,
North,
east?
they are northeast of you. Also, at this moment, I'm going to say that just at the concept of trying to teach Mez subtlety, both Smoke and Kristoff get a very mild headache.
I was going to let Juniper figure that one out on his own, but
Yeah. Just the very thought, you're both like,
2 episodes later. No, you don't show flat, son of a bitch. No.
The better question is this part of town, since I'm assuming your things are a little more thinned out here instead of where we were. Do we have a better idea of what direction we're going into?
I didn't
still
hear
northeast.
And then he looked at it, still north.
Still on the edge of the map.
Can
Alright.
we look up? Like, do we see buildings in that direction that we can kind of gauge where it might be that we're heading?
You're noticing as you're looking in that direction, the buildings, it's heading inland, so away from the water, and heading north, so outside of, like, there's some kind of nicer neighborhoods, but again, like if you're in a city, with the direction that he is moving in, the skyline thins out pretty quickly.
Right.
Okay.
So we're very likely heading into estates rather than into apartments and the like.
Probably. If I am sure of who is here for me in particular, or they're trying to portray that there's something here, because I'm somewhere outside, so I'm trying to talk.
Yeah, you're walking along the roads, and
Yeah.
it's nighttime, so they're not crowded.
So I'm assuming that they have either found their way into a house, somehow found that he has connection to me, because apparently I am wanted for.
Things.
Well, I actually hide those things very well. I don't even know why I'm wanted. From being 100% honest with you, I've been hiding for a very long time, and I've been very good at it in keeping up my tracks. I can make things disappear. For instance, and he'll show one of the dots, and just like something that he doesn't really care about, like a ring of some noble he was gonna steal later. Just he'll just press it and it's gone. I can make things disappear if I need. I have never been caught. Well, except for
not one to pry too much into another person's background, but are you officially trained in Montaigne or not so officially?
Point of fact, the official position of Montaigne, and having fought them and fought with them, depending on how the war was going at any given time, Kristoff, you would know this. The official government position of Montaigne is that all portiers are government portiers.
Well, I know the official position. I also know the official position is about as truthful as the Vatican Church.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
All right.
Yeah. So I mean, I can tell you later. And if I'm being honest with you, it's not much. I don't really.
Let me put it this way: all I want to know is if what we're walking into has the potential of being something that is international. More so than committing assault on Castilian soil with an Inish princess in our presence.
Don't forget the fact that the Inish king was there.
Oh, shit.
Well, I was speaking about the assault we're about to commit, but yeah, if you want to add that one on there as well.
Well, considering that we did that one and, And
I left Ison to lay low.
Well,
you're always welcome to come to Inishmore.
Can we go to Inishmore? That sounds fun, actually.
That doesn't sound like a bad... You think you can talk Cass into it? Because I feel like we've gotten her in a little... One thing at a time, Alejandro.
Yes, Alejandro.
Yes. And also, point of order, bludgeoning. Do not, and I'll repeat, do not make a big gaping wound on them.
I'm just going to look at my Zweihander.
And if you are going to make a gaping wound, end it. Killing blows only. You understand?
No.
Or do I need to tell you all the crazy, weird things that they can
I don't want to hear it.
Okay, cool. Good to know. All right.
If it comes to bloodshed, make sure that's the only recourse. Not too different from usual. Got it.
Knockout?
We do a lot of different things than just...
That's also true.
We do. I'm just saying, you shouldn't be swinging a weapon at somebody unless you're planning... Not everybody plays with a sword or an opponent the way you do, Mez. Some of us only bother attacking when we're...
Are we close at all?
You've been walking this whole time, and the neighborhood kind of clears out around you while Mez is stewing. And moving through, you get to... You feel like you're getting close, Junie, and you pull back your sleeve again to look at the tattoo, and the dot is now on the map. And you walk forward, and you're standing in kind of it's sort of an open plaza. It's right on the edge of town. You're not outside of the town walls. And you're there. Like... For a second, you're looking around, and then you take a moment to focus because you've primarily been relying on your map. Mm-hmm. And you've never known the map to be wrong. And so, kind of confused, you take a moment to focus, and you realize he's still a bit of a ways away down.
Oh, shit. So he will make a visceral look on his face. And he's like, fuck.
What?
And he just looked at the ground. Down.
What do you mean?
he's down, like below ground.
6 or more.
Oh boy, more than 6 feet. I'm assuming.
Good.
Yes.
You'd get a feel about 10 feet.
Oh shit.
So, how are we to be getting to it?
Well, first we need to find the abode of.
I am going to look around. Is there anywhere that's good to basically hide for a while?
You're in the middle of a plaza right now, so no. But as you are kind of looking around, there are some things you could get behind. One of the many wells that goes down to the city cisterns is over on the edge. Has its own little thing built around it.
I got this. Come with me. And we'll go somewhere where we can take cover.
All right.
And I am going to pull out my medicine bag and something that may or may not be wrapped in wax paper and try to cover what I'm doing with basically turning my back and start mortar and pestling some things real quick, doing a quick job.
How curious is Mez right now?
So curious.
Oh, same. We're both
And
just
I am
over
going to spend a hero point and make an item.
What are you doing?
You said it's after sunset,
It's after sunset.
but very early after sunset?
Yeah, I'd say let's call it 10:30 at night.
Okay.
And it's summer, so late sunset.
All right.
No, wait. We are not nearly as far north as where I actually live, so let's
No.
call it 9:30.
It's as long as it's after sunset, but not
Yeah.
close to sunrise. That's all that matters for me.
What are you doing?
I'm making something.
What are you making?
Would Mez know a human heart if she saw it?
I would.
Okay.
We all would, for various reasons.
For various. Don't need to be talking about why.
You watch as he pulls out a human heart and begins grinding it.
Along with some other herbs and things.
With 11 original herbs and spices.
Yes.
Wow.
The 12 mysterious spices.
Why are you doing that?
This hopefully won't take long, but on the off chance everything goes wrong and I'm not awake before sunrise, stab me before the sun comes up.
I'm sorry, what?
Where
I'm
are
just
we
gonna
slapping
drink somewhere non-lethal but damaging.
Oh, so it's
I-
come up.
Yeah. It.
Wow. Fucking hell.
Oh. I feel like she deserves a hero point for that.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
she has so many hero points right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Hold on. So we're to be stabbing you if you don't wake up. Why are you going to sleep?
Because I'm gonna see where Alejandro is, what's around him, and what the best way to get down to him is.
How are you doing that?
Do you really need to know how? The one with a magical fey king.
Look, just because we haven't.
a thing.
She has a point.
You know, she's got a point. In the grand scheme of questions we could be asking, if we're gonna start asking things, we could really start pointing some fingers your way, but we don't out of respect.
I'm sorry. How are you to be pointing any fingers my way? My family's only running it in his absence, and he's back now, so I don't have to worry about it. I could always put you in touch with him, so that way you have asking him.
We'll continue this conversation later. I'm going to drink the thing that I just made.
All right, and as you were working, as you were doing this, it looks to you, it's almost like nothing very different. Like it looks like alchemy. It looks like science. It looks like medicine. Smoke. your tattoos ache a little bit. Juniper. Your map has a moment of... It doesn't fade the way it did on the ship, but there's a almost like staticky sensation. And Mez, the essence of Heather gets hot. Cools quickly, but for a moment it gets hot.
All right, I'm gonna just tell you one thing there, Kristoff. If you happen to see someone of more trouble than normal, make sure when you come back you let me know.
I assume Smoke and I have been traveling enough. I know what that means.
Would she have let him see that? It's one of her secrets, so it's up to you.
No, but if there's other instances where it's ached, he's probably recognized the motion.
You're aware that she has tattoos.
Yeah. If nothing else, I figure it's more like the sailor whose knee aches before a storm type thing. It's just she's just got that sense for danger. It's gonna be a long night, isn't it?
Very.
What is it not?
You know, I had a few nice short ones. They got a lot longer right around the time Mez got on board. Yep.
All right.
Whatever you're doing, it sounds dangerous. Will you take care, please?
The reason I left Eisen is because I'm a Hexen. And the Inquisition has been hunting me for a very long time. This is harmless, but it will let me see away from my body. If I'm not back seeing through my own eyes before sunrise, though, I will die. But physical pain will bring me back too.
Right
I'll
here
be as
through the
careful as
hook.
I can be, as long as you make sure to give me a good one if I'm not awake by then.
Do you prefer the thigh?
Well, the hip's already going, may as well take out the thigh as well.
There's a bit more meat there than in most other places.
I just need the arms to swing a sword. That works.
All right.
I'll be careful.
Thank you.
And with that, bottoms up.
You drink, and you've never liked doing this. The idea of leaving your body behind where people might choose to stab it, and you've known other Hexa that you've learned from almost live in this state. But it's one you as a soldier have always been like, not great, and you take the drink, and for a second you have this weird doubled vision as you are seeing both through your eyes and the eyes that your concoction is creating. And as your understanding of yourself steps out of your body, and does your body stay just as it was, or were you sitting, or does it kind of collapse to the ground?
Goes to sleep.
We will go to a break. And welcome back. So, Kristoff falling back, actually falling like a tree that's been cut down, collapsing to the. Mez is going to try to catch it.
Yes.
I'm gonna call that a risk.
I would have
he's
like
a
at
big
least
guy
sat
in
down.
armor. What?
I would have at least like sat down, leaned
Okay,
back
fine,
against
then.
something.
I don't want tiny Mez.
Oh, I take this potion. I fell over. I got a concussion. I wake back up instantly. Ironically,
You only do it once.
I need
You
another
only do
heart.
it once.
I usually only do this on mud. I've never done it on cobble before. Sorry, I'll be right back. Okay, so you sat down. You go down, and
I will
Kristoff,
spend my hero point.
okay, spend your hero point. What are you doing?
Mez is very unconsciously doing the thing.
Mez, you feeling the heat from the essence of Heather that you have, and this is just a lot. Watching him grind a human heart and then season it, and then drink what he made. That's a lot. And your first indication of any of this, not to mention, you grew up, there were Montagnans around. There were people who were fighting in those wars who came, and hexes were, they were among those who came, who would, steal and eat little girls who didn't go to bed on time. And this is a lot. And you instinctively reach out to something that you would never, ever, ever admit to anyone is there. And then you feel as the essence cools against your skin and you feel safe. Kristoff, you take a moment, you stand up, clearing your head, and you're looking around and you see the very concerned group around you, and you can see you're sitting at a weird angle where you figured someone would catch you, but there's smoke. There's Junie. You can't see Mez.
oh,
But someone's holding you.
that is a question for later. I'm gonna head back to this spot where Junie indicated that Alejandro was 10 feet down, and then getting over to that spot. Oh, I hate doing this. Down through the ground.
You can only imagine. You can only imagine that this is what it must be like to be buried alive. And as you pass through the cobbles and into the dirt and into the stone, you feel yourself instinctively. You don't have to breathe in this state, but you're still trying to hold your breath. And then suddenly you come, and it occurs to you. San Juan has many sewers and also cisterns. Two systems operating alongside each other, very well developed over years of the education and the learning that Castille has had through the heyday, particularly of the second and third prophets. And in the cistern, you see over the water a system, a maze, a labyrinth, really, of wooden platforms. And inside, and on one of those platforms, inside a cage, looking scared and hungry, but not thirsty because the water's right there, is Alejandro.
I assume the cage looks like not part of the normal architecture here.
No, though it looks like it's been here for a bit. And as you're taking a look and walking in and out, the lock looks fairly complicated. Like, a lot of stuff here is ramshackle. That is a very quality lock.
Well, this is obviously a trap. I'm going to look for where the spring for the trap is. I'm going to see who might be around and cover whatever ground I need to.
As you start looking around, there's actually a fair number of people also here, and they're walking around on the platforms, and they all look shady AF. A lot of leather, a lot of kind of rough. You see some folks who look like beggars, and you've moved in enough places where you need to keep your head down. This is a thieves' guild, or as they are known in San Juan, the carteristas.
Oh, this is the Undercity, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that eliminates a lot of possibilities. I'm going to find what is basically start tracing tunnel then and try to find the best way to get down to this spot.
All right. You know what? How much time are you going to take to do this is what I'll say.
One quick question. Is there anybody that seems to be paying more attention to the boy in the cage than anything?
There is one guard who occasionally comes by, and you have all of your senses here, right? Yep. There's a guard who comes by and kind of leans up against the cage, and Alejandro kind of huddles away from him nervously. And he looks and says, "Boy, they're just going to keep coming. They're going to keep asking. And I don't know what your boss, if he'd hold out for you this way. It's not a bad life here. But we can't be allowing competition."
The one thing I actually don't know is if anybody can hear me if I try to speak. I'm actually completely unaware of that. But not knowing whether or not anybody can hear me, I'm going to get near Alejandro and just to let him know, "Son, we're coming, and they're about to regret it."
It says specifically you're a ghost, right?
Yep.
And that, coming from a hexa, means something different than it would in other schools of magic. Alejandro, suddenly you can see, because you're up close, all of a sudden his skin is all goosebumps. And even the guard outside kind of looks around, both of them, and then both of them kind of lean over, kind of glancing at the water. You're not sure what was heard, but something was heard. But Alejandro right now looks more scared than anything.
I'm going to try talking to the guard. I don't know if they understood me, but I'm just going to say to the guard, "Let the boy go, or hell's coming down here."
Let's go ahead and give this your resolve and your intimidate.
I'm unfortunately one of the less scary huge dudes. And
I'm going to say there are many ways a whole bunch of armed people around could react to this, and how much he's going to be able to understand. So I'm going to put 3 levels of risk, but I'm also going to put in an opportunity. And I'm going to spend, because this is you doing something with this that you have not done before, I'm spending one of those danger points. Your threshold of victory is a 15.
I'd like to donate one of my hero points.
All right, that's an additional 3 dice.
Oof. So close. 2 raises.
2 raises. All right, so you can, with one of those raises, you can be understood.
Wait. Math is hard. 1. No, I'm one off. So yeah, still sorry. 2 raises.
2
and
raises.
a 14.
So you can succeed in frightening this guy into feeling like this kid's more trouble than he's worth and I need to get rid of him. And then use the remaining raise to either lower the risk around that in how dangerous his reaction to this is, or take an opportunity.
Lower the risk to Alejandro?
Just how high of alert is his reaction going to be for...
I'll go for opportunity.
All right. You've never tried to communicate as a ghost before. It's not what it's for. But it is... You have moved your spirit. And as someone who has run into many a spirit in the lands of Eisen, you become aware of his soul in a way it's different. Every time you've done this before, it's just to move your senses somewhere you haven't been seen. But all of a sudden you sense his soul in the guard, his soul in his skin in a similar way. And you think if you tried, you could supplant it. Ghosts can possess people. And you have a rough idea of how that would be done.
I'm going back to my body, and I'm not okay with that.
All right.
That is a line I'm not crossing.
Okay.
I'm finding the quickest way out of here up to where we are, and I'm getting there.
So speed is what you're going for.
It is now. Yep.
There is there is an entire, and now that you've done it, it's hard to unsee it. You're clocking the guards, but you're also clocking, and there is a sense of fear that is spreading, and as it's happening, you're like, they were prepped for fear. They were already scared. What were they scared of? As you make your way, and you're able to find the way to where the cistern, or the well, that the well building, which is where the rest of the group is kind of hiding out near, and you're able to drift up through the well so you don't have to pass through solid dirt again and re-enter your body.
And keep an eye out for, while I'm going through there, any traps or alarms or tripwires or just anything that might have been in the way.
You're going for speed. There definitely are traps and things like that, though.
Do my best
this
to...
This is a position that has anticipated, like, they never know when someone might decide. They're a thieves guild in a city run by the Inquisition.
Yeah. Okay. Just do my best to clock those. Actually, the first one I see, I will slow down a little bit, get a hold of myself, and take it just a little bit slower to make sure I can clock where these things are, because that's
mostly you see the issue seems to be tripwires and occasional false platforms.
Okay.
And you're looking around, and you can see, like, sometimes there's stakes under platforms and stuff like that. Though they seem to be taking a good effort to not sully the water, because obviously that would draw attention to them.
Yeah.
And so you're able to get up and you drift, and do you re-enter your body?
Yeah.
And as your eyes open up, Mez, I'm presuming, is still there holding him. You come to, and Mez is keeping your head off the ground. And also, until you step back into your body, you do not see her.
I'm going to just hold that one close to the chest for now, because now is not the time.
So,
Real quick, we're taking this moment to jump back to Cass.
Okay.
Cass, you step out. The guards nod to you, and you're able to walk out of the fortress. Where are you going?
Well, I don't know anything happening with them, and I already set up a nice little way to get in for
You sure did.
Cass. So I am going to gear up because I left some things for myself just outside the fort to change into. And I'm going back in through the way I created for myself.
The rope. Yep, you're able to steal around, and particularly with the badge, the guards kind of stop clocking you the moment you become not their problem. Actually, the younger one I thought maybe would, but no.
Try to take me home.
No, Jess. How would he? He hates that you're leaving, but he loves to watch you walk away. But no, nothing like that. He's staying focused on his work, and you're able to kind of steal around to where you're able to switch into your Vagabundo gear. And because this is a prearranged opportunity, I'm not going to make you roll a risk. You are inside the fortress of San Juan for the first time as a vagabundo.
As a vagabundo. Oh boy. Okay. So I am going to be going in I'm going to sneak my way in the direction of the dungeons because I need to. I don't like what I heard about the ice in there.
All right, you are.
I'm going to down to the dungeon to look for information about that.
Then you are definitely now. You get spotted.
It's over.
The alarm is going to start going up. Breaking into the detention level isn't what I had in mind. So we're going to go for finesse and hide.
And that is my first time rolling that. So I get an additional die.
Spending another danger die.
How dare you?
I'm going to spend a hero point.
Oh.
What's
So that gives me 3 additional die, right? Oh, my math. All right.
For the record, I love I spend a die. Well, I'm going to spend a die. That's why it's going to be so great with the villain.
Okay, and a 10 is an automatic, right?
A 10 is an automatic. Because I don't want to be a jerk with the critical.
I got 4 raises with 3 left over.
4 raises. All right. Do you want to sell one of those?
Yes.
All right. You are moving quickly, and you're coming in, and you were near where your father's office was, and the head inquisitor's office has a stairwell that goes pretty directly to the dungeons for purposes of interrogation. And so you're able to move down. You're able to be pretty quiet. There's a few moments where, like, a guard comes by, and you just at the last second manage to pin yourself against the wall, and like be in the shadow as folks move past. But you believe that you have not been clocked, and you kind of step into the dungeons, and there's immediately you can tell there's 2 kind of levels of the dungeon. Another going deeper down seems to be much more high security. There are 2 guards on either side looking down a well-lit corridor. You don't know that you could even get to that door without being seen, much less through it, without a big alarm going off. However, there is a passage down to much lower security. Looks more like holding cells than anything.
Going to hit that way.
Going down that way, you occasionally hear a female voice calling out, is anyone going to come talk to me? I don't know why I'm here. And it's got an Eisner accent.
I'm going for that.
You walk down, and as you get near, and as you're moving, you get the impression that some of the guards that are here are actually kind of embarrassed that she's here, or maybe just don't like constantly being pelted with questions, and so they're kind of making sure no one's getting out, but at the same time not wanting to hang around to have to deal with the abuse. And so as you enter in, you can see a woman. She's definitely older than you, has a long braid down her back, and you can see an astonishing amount of equipment on a table outside. There is armor, there is a Zweihander, there is an armored glove. She looks up. Who are you supposed to be?
And I'm just going to tilt my head at her. I could ask you that question, but since I'm not the one behind bars right now.
Well, it's nice that someone's at least bothering to ask.
You've got a name?
Verhilde Helmut.
I clock that name. I know Kristoff's last name. Cass is gonna narrow her eyes. Helmut. As in Kristoff Helmut?
Yeah, it's my uncle.
Why did they lock you up?
Something about weird magic in town and needing to ask people about it. No one's even asked me questions. They're just holding me here until someone can ask questions, and apparently there's someone more important. I hear him screaming. That's fun.
It's your lucky day. Your
Is it?
uncle
It
is
doesn't
a...
seem that way.
No, it is. Your uncle is a good friend of mine, and I'm going to look... Are there keys around?
Hang on. And she steps up. How do you know? Is he involved with Los Vagabundos?
More like this vagabundo's involved with him.
That doesn't sound
Not-
like him.
The thing is, he doesn't really know that I am one.
Real quick. And she
Yes.
gives a description of... And she's describing the Kristoff you know. You're involved with him.
Mhm.
Aren't you really young for him?
No.
And-
Oh, no. She Cass gags a little bit. Like, no, not like that. He's old enough to be my father.
I know. Yeah. Okay. So, he's here though. He's safe. He's in the city.
Yes, I believe he's at the Beso de Serena. So I'm still looking around for keys.
Wait. And she looks at her stuff. I haven't done anything. And eventually, they're going to ask questions and find out that I don't know anything. Or probably the questions will not even need to be asked anymore because of whoever that poor soul down there is. So, and this will all be a whole lot easier if I don't have to avoid guards until I can get home. So, leave me here. Maybe
John.
send let him know
I'll let him
that
know.
I'm here if he can vouch. I don't. He's probably, if they're this nervous about Eisner's. Just when I get out, where can I find you all?
The Beso de Serena.
Where's that?
It's by the docks. If you can't find us there, you can look for a ship. The
Right.
Cerulean Tide.
He has access to a ship.
We have access to a sea captain.
That's exactly what I was.
What's your name again?
I knew he couldn't stay out of trouble. Okay, yeah.
What was your name again?
Verhilde.
How do you spell that?
Waerhilde.
Oh my god.
You tell him I'm here. Don't tell him about this part, though. He'll freak out.
I will just
And-
tell him that you're in town and looking for him.
All right. And then when I talk to him, we could use his help. Particularly if you have access to a captain. I think that would be great.
Oh, we have access to a captain, all right. Cerulean Tide or the Beso de Serena? Just find us there.
All right. Thank you. Now get out of here before someone sees you. Thank you so much.
Heading over to whoever she's talking about.
And at this moment, you hear some. Actually, you hear some walking. There are a bunch of people coming into the dungeon from the door that you entered in.
Shit, I'm going to... What's around me?
A whole bunch of cages. Only one locked.
I'm going into one of the cages and closing it and just making myself just...
Mhm.
Oh, taking the mask off, but mainly just like leaning against the...
Yeah.
There's cots in the cages, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pretend to be asleep in one of the cots, back toward where they'd be looking.
They walk down, and there is one kind of nervous glance down the hallway, and where Hilda kind of opens her mouth like she's going to shout, glances over at you, and just stays quiet, leaning against the wall while the group walks past. You see your father in the middle of this group of guards as they walk down to the heavy door that then opens, and they walk in.
All of them?
Yeah, that whole group moves through, and then the heavy doors close behind them.
Gonna get up. I'm gonna sneak over, and I'm going to try as best as possible to listen through that door.
This is the door that has the two guards flanking it. Like, you're not going to get
shit.
anywhere near that door unseen. We don't have Skyrim sneak where you can
Okay.
hide in an empty, well-lit room.
Cass is going to just be staring down at that fucking door, and she's going to look at Vihilda.
She looks at you and is like, you hid in a cage.
I panicked.
You need to do less of that if you're breaking into dungeons.
Listen, I'm new at this.
Fair, it's fine. I won't tell Kristoff.
He doesn't even... what's funny is he knows my real face. He's seen me in this getup, and he doesn't realize it's me.
That also sounds like him.
Got any bright ideas?
Well, can you get out the way you got in?
I can.
Do that. No offense.
Did you
You're
hear
still
it?
pretty green. You're not going to want to hear an Inquisition interrogation on a blood witch.
Have you heard anything of what he's been screaming about? At least?
There was a mention of a Remy a few times, is a name I've heard a few times. I think he and his friends joined. Is it Carter? I don't understand Castilian very well.
Catarista?
Yeah, that might have been the name.
Okay. Well, my dad's not in his office right now. I'm going to tell her I will let Kristoff know that she's in town.
Wait, what do I call you?
Cass.
Good to meet you.
She'll hold out her hand and shake through the bars.
The handshake hurts. Not intentionally. You don't feel like she's trying to hurt you, but it's like... And you've, like... Kristoff is strong, but this is even almost another level. And it's just... And she's a good-looking woman there, but there's a...
She He's so proud. He's so proud. I'm going up to my dad's office.
All right.
Back to them. I'm
All
assuming.
right. Back to this crew.
Good morning.
But hopefully not, otherwise I'm dead.
No, not quite. You have a few hours left.
Yeah. So, did you see anything? I don't know exactly what you did, to be honest.
Alejandro's down in one of the cisterns, locked up in a cage.
Right, so who are we getting?
Yeah.
Oh, there's an entire undercity down there,
Perfect.
It's-
Lots of targets.
full of beggars and thieves.
Thieves Guild.
Oh, shit. Why did I not think that there was enough? You know, do any of you know the leader?
No.
No.
And actually, yeah, Junie, this is a little bit of a mea culpa for you because, like, of course, a thieves guild would not want amateurs operating in their turf.
Yeah. Well,
So how
Looks
are we
like-
getting down there?
looks like we need to find a way in. Yeah.
Well, I tracked the shortest path. There's a couple traps in the way, but I figure out where those are as well.
Right.
Some trip wires, some false floors. I mean, unless somebody's got a better idea, I'm still all for just walking in there.
Let's go say hello.
Oh. And he just cracked things. Are we just going to knock?
Certainly.
I mean, we don't really have anything to barter other than their lives for his. So,
Coin?
Okay. No. Put the heels down. You'll push her hand down like and then go, Kristoff,
Not
you
a
first or
fan
me
of
first?
paying people for locking up kids.
That's true. Kristoff, you first or me first?
Well, I saw where the traps were, so I guess I'll go first. But you can keep close behind, so you can make a proper father or parental guardian like entry along with once we get there.
Well, my question is, how tall is he? How tall are you, Kristoff?
Like 6'6".
So, with my ability to jump really high in the air, how easy would you say it would be able to vault over him and kick the shit out of someone in the forehead? Like surprise attack, shall I say?
You wouldn't be excited about it, particularly if you're going underground and you don't know how much headspace you're necessarily going to have.
Okay, slide under, kicking the balls. Good enough.
See, this is when you just need to give me a code word, like just some code so I know to duck, because they're never going to expect an attack from above over the 6'6" guy in close quarters.
Yep, I'm going to whistle.
Merd.
It's just a quick
No, just say Merd.
merit. Oh, sure, I'll say that then. Wait, why do you
And,
even know? Okay, anyway.
You see, my best friend growing up was also Montanian. We don't need to talk about it. Anyways.
Yeah, my sister-in-law as well. Well,
Oh,
half.
see? Hi. Well, technically he was my father's ward. 'Cause
Why the fuck am I just now? Anyway, let's go.
someone had to teach me the language.
All right, the way down is the well.
And yeah,
Save for
is this like an actual well or like
Yep,
a?
there is a bucket with a line down. It's not in the best shape. You get the impression that's for the kind of the poor people who can't afford their own.
Yeah. Were any of
Sorry,
the traps
want
in
to
the
jump
well?
and
Any
drop.
of the tripwires in the well?
As you were drifting up, you got the impression this is one of the ways that they frequently use in and out as well. So it's
Okay,
Cool.
kept relatively clear.
I'll head on down.
I'll take the rear. Like, I'll be the last one to go in.
Mhm.
And that
So-
would put as between me and Junie.
That's great and all. Sarah just jumps in and grabs the rope.
little fucking Batman down. Jesus. Fuck.
Well, I guess Nez is going first.
So yeah, Mez Leroy Jenkins into the.
Right?
Oh.
You see, Cass Juniper listened. He didn't rush in, and then Mez did. So
And I'll just look and I'll go, see? I'm not the only one.
Cass
That does
isn't
it. And then
there,
I'll-
but
right
I
after,
hope Crafty will at least appreciate it.
and then like right after her jump down.
So,
Like,
Mez
y'all
is
were
in. Who's
talking and
playing
figuring out safe words and everything, and she was like, yep, boo.
Mez is going down. Following Mez is
Me, I'm gonna go. After.
Junie. Then there's Kristoff and Smoke.
Yeah,
Like,
I was going to go
top-
first, and now I'm second to last.
You're
Yeah.
still kind of awkwardly getting up off the ground, like you
Yeah.
can't hang on. You clamber over and start going down. That thing, the whiteboard has made you too powerful. And then finally, and Smoke, even though no one's there to appreciate it, you're very good at rappelling down things, and so you're able to do it properly. And you think, I've got to teach her the right way to do that sometime. But you go down, and all four of you land, and you are in. Once you get about, say, 5 feet down, the ground kind of gives way around you, and you're in probably a 10-foot diameter circular room. And as Mez, you're coming down first, it's taking the rope straight down is towards the water, but with a little bit of swing, you're able to jump to where one of the platforms is that the bucket would usually miss as people are going for water and able to land. But you also get it's not the easiest thing to do, and it's you're gonna if the rest of the group is coming behind you might want to move kind of quickly to get out of the way of whoever's following you.
Let's see.
We all sliding down like a badass. One misstep.
So I'm not asking for a risk. I just want to know what you're doing.
She'll fall into the water. She doesn't care.
Oh, she's just going straight into the water. She's not jumping further. Okay.
She hasn't dealt with this before, so like she sees it and she's like, "Oh, plop."
So yeah, you are now in you are now in water, just shy of your shoulders. Actually, it's fairly deep here, and splash.
Splash.
And while you were there, kind of dealing with that, down comes Junie. You see the same thing, including Mez in the water.
You know you were supposed to jump, right?
No.
Oh fuck! And then he'll push off and jump, so he doesn't
Don't
make
you
a
usually
splash.
go into these places?
So you land on the platform. Are you moving in, or are you helping Mez up?
I'm gonna help her up. Yeah.
While you're helping Mez up, Kristoff is coming down. And you see Mez in the water, Junie trying to help her out, and you're running out of room fast.
I was actually climbing, like, properly. Yeah, I don't know what's down there. I was going to climb, not just jump in the hope that it works out for the best. So when I see
usually
this,
does.
as I'm climbing properly, hand over hand, using my feet as a on the rope below with a S. They keep telling me to drink the water, and just next time Cass brings that up, you just remind him that's your bath water that she's drinking.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. She's getting like literally picked up by Junie.
You're climbing down. While you were waiting for Junie to get her out of the water, what are you doing, Kristoff? Are you just hanging?
I am not going to jump. I'm going to just bring the rope down. Oh, I'm going to push off the wall and swing over to the platform and land on it. Minimal effort.
There is potential for max comedy here, but
There
of all
always
the people on ropes, Smoke's undoubtedly the best. So how does Smoke jumping into the well, grabbing the rope, going down, how does that go? I'm not going to make you roll for it. What happens? Kristoff is still on the rope, and Junie is trying to help. By this point, Junie probably has Mez most of the way out of the water, because he's strong and she's small.
All right. Well, before I would have jumped down, you can tell when somebody's like either climbing or swinging. So I would have given him a little bit of time to at least gotten further down before starting to come down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll start like sliding a bit until I see that he's staying on the bottom end of the rope, and then pull my whip and see if I could latch it to something on the other side so that I could just swing by the whip over to the.
Absolutely, and it looks awesome. And you basically land on the far side of Juniper as he finally sets Mez, like you even give a little bit of a, there isn't room really for this, but you give a little bit of a flip and you land with full flair on the wooden platform right around as time as Junie is putting a sopping wet Mez on the platform, and Kristoff just
Once
no, go ahead, sorry.
Once I get on the platform, I'm just gonna look at Mez, kind of gesture towards Smoke. Respect your elders.
That's the last time I saw someone do that. My mom did that. That's fucking badass. You're cool. Okay. Kristoff, you first?
I'm just going to walk my way down, and every trap that we come across, every tripwire, I'm just gonna, with this Y-Honder, just cut the tripwire. I don't care if it makes noise as long as we're out of the range of anything bad happening.
One time you do it, and a crossbow goes off and pings harmlessly off of the Zweihander itself. Another time, a pistol goes off. A lot of nothing. You give a poke to one of the false platforms. It spins just kind of harmlessly over water, but there's a loud splash. And you're just, because you clocked all of this, and you're just handling as you walk in, and then you walk into the main kind of cavern area with the various walkways, and including where Alejandro is being held. And as you were looking around, you see several large groups. One of them, it seems like there's a whole bunch of folks with crossbows aimed down in your general direction. There is another group with knives drawn, and a third that are looking a little bit shadier and are kind of holding back and seeing what's happening. And in the middle of all of it is one cloaked figure with the hood deep over.
Is Alejandro still in the cage?
Alejandro is still in the cage. And steps forward and goes, typically we like to invite our guests.
Does?
Huh?
The cloaked figure steps forward?
Yeah. Well, not very close to you. It's still a good distance away from you.
As he starts speaking, I'm just going to hold out a hand and say, shit, quiet. Which one of you is the guard that was talking to the kid in the cage?
The cloaked figure turns around like they would also very much like to know that information. And one of the guys with the knives kind of like raises his hand.
Now, I think you were told to let the boy go or hell was coming down here. I see the boy still in the cage.
Cloaked figure tilts his head. Boy was operating where he didn't have permission.
Oh, wonderful. Let's talk about that a bit. And Masara will step forward, like, kind of sidestepping Kristoff and approaching. And she will spend the hero point to disarming smile this man.
Okay.
I'm going to do my big bear behind her routine.
Remind me the exact effect of disarming smile.
I actually just pulled that up because I knew you were going to ask. Spend a hero point to keep another character from drawing a weapon, starting a fight, or resorting to violence.
All right.
She will defend herself, but she will not start any conflict.
Okay. The figure holds up a hand. It's you.
Aye.
Princess Masara of Inishmore.
Oh, hi, yes.
My understanding was princesses didn't often come down into sewers.
Yes, well, you see, when you take something that's mine, I come after it.
Why are you hiring thieves? And if you're hiring thieves, why aren't you hiring us?
Oh, I wasn't hiring for him thieving work. I was ensuring the boy had a chance to go on the right way. Get out of necessity. You can ask him yourself.
He glances over at Alejandro, who's kind of like, Well, I'm in an interesting position.
It happens.
We're here, all my men, and yes, the women. And he brushes back the hood, and you see a sort of... This is a face, you can just tell he's been sick and recovered a few times. He's got some cuts. There's a pretty good scar over one of his eyes, though you don't get the impression that he's blind in it. And he's just kind of looking you all over. Who trained him? He's been trained. So who trained him?
And then I'll just he'll pop his head out and just walk forward with his arms crossed. You know, I'm glad we're being a little more polite about this.
I'm being exceedingly polite. You've barged your way into my base of operations.
Yeah, and you took my boy.
You operated on our grounds.
Well, you could have came and had a fucking conversation.
To be fair, we were a little out of town.
Look at that. Out of town.
And I did tell him not to be doing anything while we were out of town. So I do be apologizing for that. He is young. And
older
I don't
than
exactly
half of my pickpockets.
But some of them starts later. To my understanding, I don't have much understanding about these things. So I do want to be apologizing for stepping into your territory.
Well, that's appreciated.
Is there any way we could be making it right?
Well, as you can see, I have a lot of mouths to feed down here. There's a lot of work to be had, and unfortunately...
I'll put her hand down again.
Unfortunately... Some of them, their eyes have been bigger than their stomachs of late. Some... I'm not particularly of a mind to let any more foreigners set foot in our affairs. But... Do you intend to continue operating in San Juan? And he's looking at Juniper.
Well, this sounds to me like you want to work together. And maybe I can teach, and he just kind of point to the ones who he can tell are very not that good at their job. And just go.
Actually, you don't get the impression, like, he mentioned that he has children pickpocket. There's no one like that in this room. Like, everyone in this room looks like they know how to fight.
Ah, okay.
And he's like...
He'll just point at a few anyway. Just to talk shit. And just like, I can train who you need, but, you know, as long as, you know, we come to a...
Where'd you get your training?
Oh, yeah, that's for me to know.
Montaigne.
Shut the... What the fuck? I trained myself.
As I said, out of necessity. Aye.
We've had some Montagnans here recently. Very ambitious. We got the impression they were looking for something else.
Yeah.
Made some big scores and then vanished. Like they found
probably on
what they
account
were
of them
coming.
being arrested.
Yes, and we've had a fair amount of trouble already from that. But it's not like the Inquisition doesn't know we're not down here. I'll say this. You and your... He glances over to Alejandro. I've heard of you, Lady Masara.
Aye.
I've heard of your man-at-arms. You've occasionally been sighted in the presence of vagabundos.
That is true enough, aye.
I don't know these other two, but one who would teach thieves, and I can only guess a captain. I imagine we could take you, but I'd lose more than I'm looking for, and I'm already overextended. I want your word as a thief. Any operating that you do personally, you will pay the tithe.
Any operation? So you want me to?
You will pay the tithe, Junie.
Fine.
Your items are fenced through us. We take 10% of everything. Or you do not operate within the city.
So, am I signing a contract with you? Is that what's going on here?
We tend to be simpler men here. We will assume you are following instructions until we see you do not. If you fail to pay the tithe, your life is forfeit.
Sure. All right. You know what? This sounds good. That's fine with me. I'm not a big material person. Any big scores I do, you get 10%. And if I need help, can I depend on... He just kind of points to people in the room.
We're thieves, don't depend on anything, but we often can be hired.
That's a good sign. All right. Can I have my boy back, please?
Let him out. And a person who gives an impression of being an officer goes over and puts in the keys open, and Alejandro steps out. He is hurt, but he is not injured.
Right.
You understand how that goes.
I got a question.
I
Who
might
did
have
the hurting?
Yeah.
Me, among others.
Mm.
You have the look of a military man about you. Pain is relative. He is not harmed, but he was hurt.
You would just see at this point, Kristoff is seething. And there is a much tighter grip on this Zweihander.
Stand your man down, princess. We're almost out of this peaceably.
Kristoff,
I want you to apologize to the boy personally for the harm that you inflicted on him.
If you want harm inflicted on him, I'll apologize after.
Kristoff, we are in their territory. He broke the contract of this city.
He did.
Your move, Eisner. I know you don't know what it is to have borders, but I protect mine.
And Masara will, lay a hand on Kristoff's side behind her.
Oh.
Smoke will walk over to Alejandro as he's coming this way and grab him by the shoulder. Step out of line again. And Jonathan has a lot of tasks for you. And I'll push him.
And you can see as he's moving, he is not hobbled, he's not limping. He's bruised, but nothing that would debilitate him.
Pushing him straight to Kristoff.
Mm-hmm.
I am actually going to walk towards whoever the hell this guy is.
Oh, shit.
I'll just say to Mezza, I'm not going to start anything.
You're starting anything by stepping past me. Stand at my side or stand behind me. Do not cross this line. And she is the coldest that you have ever seen her respond.
How's the boy doing? Smoke?
Nothing that a day of rest won't cure.
Kristoff, take him back.
I don't name recruits, if that's what you're implying.
Juniper, follow Kristoff. See that he gets back.
Yeah,
You got a name?
Call me Carter.
Creative. Don't let me see you topside, Carter. And I'm gonna take the boy and walk out.
It was a pleasure. And I'll turn and follow.
Is he going to be a problem?
He's protective of myself, of any of the childer that follow him.
So long as you all follow the rules, you've nothing to worry about from me and mine. And as I said, we're even available for hire for the right price and the right job.
I imagine, considering the sudden influx of work coming our way towards smoke, there's the possibility that we could be making use of you and making you profit. Aye?
Is
I'm
it
willing to
true?
make a deal.
Is that a real vagabundo that you're seen with?
At least the startings of one.
It's not common knowledge. Or the stories that people tell are disregarded. Why would an Inish princess be with one of them? But so you know, they're dangerous. So you also know, they're occasionally customers. So, and we are many things. But we're also Castilian. And we await the return of good King Sandoval.
And we intend to be seeing to it, if we can help.
I think we have avoided a great violence here. Thank you.
Simply doing my civic duty.
I assure you, if any of the boys step out of line, they will be shanghaied to my ship and never a problem for you again. I just ask you let me deal with them.
They break my rules, I enforce it, but let us say for the boys, for the young ones, one error will be forgiven. One error only.
We appreciate that. We shall make sure that Alejandro is aware of the fact that this was his one.
And should he choose to come to us at a later time, I will not be saying no. But he will not be forced. I have no use for conscripts.
If we have some interesting trade, is there a particular way you'd want us to contact you?
People say many things over wells. I have ears near them, always. If you need something well, you're the transport, but if we need to get something valuable out, we could maybe do business.
Potentially.
The name of your ship?
Cerulean Tide.
If you get a business request from a Carter Garn, know who's contacting you and seeking to hire you. Occasionally, we have need of that.
I can quite imagine.
A good evening to you, Princess. Captain.
And to you, senor.
Evening.
And with that, he picks his hood back up and walks out of the room. Everyone else, like the knives are down, the bows are down, the crossbows are down, but everyone else is. No one's pointing a crossbow at your back, but they're all like, yeah, no one's standing down until you all are down.
Shall we, my dear?
You first.
Of course. And Mez will turn to walk out.
Be right behind.
She's still sopping wet.
Whip out.
You all are able to climb up. Meanwhile, Cass moving quickly and quietly through the now even more quiet fortress. Now that that the Inquisitor and most of his guard are involved in the questioning of a Blood Witch, you're able to get up to his office without too much difficulty.
I'm going to go through the information on his desk. Look for anything useful. Anything I could feed to the Los Vagabundos.
You are you're looking specifically for info on the Vagos.
No. Anything that could be of use for the Vagos.
Going through, looking. The first thing that's obvious to you is you do not see any report that the crown has gone missing. In fact, you do not see any. You do not see any report on the crown at all. Not a single note. You're able to get a better look at the interrogation records, and your father clearly thinks that he's talking to an idiot.
Sounds about right.
He has ability, but also seems a little unable to use it. And you see a note from your father. It's like, I suspect if blood is the fuel, he might be running low. Between the knock to his head and the cuts he's taken, he seems to be at the edge of what he's capable of. There's a note of some regret. He suspects that he will have to hand him over and he will almost certainly be executed. He doesn't think it's worth an execution, but Inquisition policy towards most sorcerers, especially blood witches and hexes. Yes, everyone's going to get a hero point from that last scene. Yes, that's everyone's everyone's hubris was going on there. Yeah, so looking through this, other details, things you see him looking at and working on, it seems the lion's share of the paperwork that he has been on keeping his people looking for signs of a ghoul infection, and recently another deployment of guards to the location that you all mentioned to him, where you all saw ghouls. And that he's trying to keep the Inquisition Guard focused on that, though apparently he's starting to get some instructions from higher ups. If there are sorcerers, if there's blood witches, the ghouls are dealt with, focus on this. And that's about what you can find in a quick glance around. See the thing. Then again, a lot of his paperwork happens in his office at your home.
Yeah, but there is probably sensitive information stuff that he would not have been able to bring home before.
Nothing more routine, at least laying out in the open.
I am going to spend some time looking for somewhere he would hide something, like a drawer with a false bottom, or a safe inside the office, something like that.
How long are you going to take? Give me minutes.
15 minutes. How long did it take me to walk from the dungeon to the...
It was...
Yes, that is my husband snoring. It is late.
It was a fair way. It was a good ways up from the, you're a little winded, running all the way down those stairs and then running all the way back up. It's a little bit more exercise, even with your roof running.
But how long did it take? How long in minutes would it have taken?
You would guess that your scamper up probably took you 5. You suspect someone walking would take closer to 10 or 15.
I will take 15 minutes to search the office a little more thoroughly.
Okay. 15 minutes you can offer. So you're looking for specifically hidden
compartments and stuff like that where he would keep more sensitive information that's not going to be out in the open.
All right, moving around, checking stuff out. There's not a lot. And then you realize one of the drawers in the desk is locked. You do not immediately see the key available.
I'm going to pick the lock.
All right, let's get your finesse and theft with flair.
Two raises with one left over.
Okay.
And I will not be selling that one.
All right. Getting and working, you think you can pop this as you're working on it, but you're not sure you're going to be able to do it without visibly damaging the lock. Do you go ahead with it anyway?
Yes.
Okay. Moving in, you pop the lock, you open it up, and you find an old letter. And this looks old. And you pull it out, and for a second you're just going to brush past it. It's like, dang it, you weren't looking for something like this. But opening it up, you see its orders, and it's war orders. You were aware that he did quite a lot. He was very active with the Inquisition years ago, before he was able to really settle in San Juan. There was a lot of being sent around, much like your brothers currently are getting. You never knew that he'd been attached to a war party to Eisen. And yet these are the orders of him being put on one of those war parties. And you get the impression it's apologetic, as if he was not supposed to have gotten this particular assignment, but something in the bureaucracy of the Inquisition had sent him there. And it occurs to you, this would have happened right around the time your mother would have been pregnant with you. And there had never been any mention of that in your household.
Is there a date on that?
Yes, it's right around 20 years ago.
How many months before my birthday?
You'd guess about 11 months before your birthday.
When was he supposed to ship out?
No mention. Just the initial order.
I'm going to put the letter back. Who signed it?
You're kind of looking around, and the signature's a little bit rough, but as you look at it, it is from a Count Horatio Montalban.
I recognize that name, don't I?
He is not mentioned much in your house, but you know your father hates him, and has said that he represents everything that is wrong with the Inquisition.
I'm going to put it back. I'm going to close the drawer. I know I damaged the lock, but there's not much I can do about it. And I'm going one last look around. Anything else? All right. I'm going to head on out.
All right. You're able to get back to your rope relatively easily, though as you do, you start to hear voices coming out, so you kind of pretty quickly get onto the rope, rappel your way. Oh.
I'm not going to rappel all the way. I'm going to hang on outside and hanging, just stick to the ledge. I want to see if I hear anything as they're walking by.
Okay, there is some muttering. You're having trouble picking out the words. Your father's clearly very irritated by something. And then finally, as he steps up, he goes, I told you hadn't taken care of the bleeding properly. You take care of prisoners in my fortress. Now there's no more questions to get out of him. One of the others says, he didn't know anything else. Yeah, probably not. But a dead prisoner, that's not how we do it here. Now get out of my sight before I start doing things the way they do it elsewhere. And then you hear the door to his office slam shut.
Head on down.
All right. You are able to get down to the ground, and where do you go?
I'm gonna head to the beso.
Are you staying masked?
No.
Okay, so as you're moving towards the beso, again, through the magic of Hollywood, you are all going to arrive at more or less the same time. And as you all walk in, sitting in one of the corner, kind of keeping an eye on the doors, is Saber. Just in normal civvy clothes, not looking like a vagabundo. And he looks at all of you, nods respectfully, gives a smile to Juniper, but also catches that there is a mood. Do you think you all would have talked about it on the walk back?
No, Masara is icing them out right now because she is pissed.
Oh yeah, no, Juniper is not happy either. No.
So
I'm old man brooding.
I'm giving Alejandro the disappointed mom talk the whole way back. And just going over in gruesome detail about having to swab the deck for hours and then going up and down the riggings to fix things
and Alejandro, being a kid, is utterly unaware of the fact that all of the anger that's going on right now is not necessarily directed at him. He just assumes that is the case, and so he has the look of a kid who is possibly walking to his own execution. So anyway, as you all enter the beso, he kind of getting that there's a mood from all of you. He sees Cass enter around the same time, and he has a small smile on his face. You did it, didn't you?
We did.
I'm sorry it took me a moment to get to you.
It's all right. It allowed me a little bit of time to get some more information at the fort.
All right. Anything? He kind of looks around. Anything you're looking to report now? Do you just kind of give him everything that you picked up, or is there anything? You can just talk in terms of what you withhold.
I withhold the information on the war orders.
Okay.
I withhold Vihilder, but I tell him all about the Blood Witch prisoner. I will tell him how the focus is on the primary focus of most of the Inquisition Inquisition forces from San Juan are going towards the ghoul infection, but there's pressure to look into sorcery in town now, and that there are no reports that they suspected anything going on with the crown yet, and that there was no mention of the crown at all. Also about whoever this Remy person is. And I'm saying this to them as well, the group, the party.
In our little corner.
Yeah, he's like, excellent. Well, I've been in contact with my own superiors, and we are prepared to take possession of it and to get it out of your hands. They have a safe place in mind where we can see to it when we can see to it that it is available for them when it's ready.
What do you want us to do with it now?
I can take it now.
Is it going to be safe with you?
I will be heading straight out of town in one of our ways. But you won't be seeing me for a while.
I would imagine not.
A bit of a trip coming up.
Are you a curious one?
Occasionally, but some things are over my head.
Then I have one suggestion for you. Don't let anyone play with it and get delusions of power.
The legends should handle that, but I will be certain. The people who will be safeguarding it know the dangers it encompasses.
My last question's for Cass. Do you trust him with it, knowing what we know?
Cass is going to stare at him for a while. And I will activate my virtue.
Okay.
Can he be trusted with this?
He is super excited. Well, it's just a yes, no answer. Yes.
It's just Cass, after staring at him for Cass doesn't know what this is, this little innate ability she has is, but she just stares at him, looks him directly in the eye, and after a few moments just looks at Smoke. We can trust him.
Do you have any concerns, Mez?
I would not be saying that I have concerns regarding this. Quicker off our hands, quicker we're done with this.
Kristoff?
Plenty of concerns, but this thing's officially better off with anybody other than us, I think.
Alright. Junie, speak now or hold your peace, because I think somebody needs an escort for a moment.
Sure, I could do that.
He stands up and gives you all a bow, and then hands Cass a note. Welcome to the family. M.
She's just being this is the happiest you've seen her. Any of you have seen her. She's just smiling down at the letter.
And
So when you're ready, Junie and I will escort you to the ship. I will go and grab it and bring it to you. Do you have something to safely carry it in? Because you do not want to be touching it.
Understood. Yes, I was prepared for this.
All right.
I know we're coming up on time, so he moves with pretty quickly. And as you're all moving, Junie, you're actually kind of impressed. He's almost as good at moving quietly as you are, and just almost second nature kind of fizzles out into the shadow. You're always kind of cognizant that he's around you, but most people would recognize, would only recognize you and Smoke kind of walking down the streets, and then you get to the Cerulean Tides.
Mm-hmm.
And Smoke, you're able to go in. Jonathan greets you as usual, and as you open up the compartment, you see the coins that were tossed in there. The one that you had turned over to the church side is still on the church side.
Okay.
And you pull open, and there's the crown.
Alright, at least you're not all I think you are. And I will grab the burlap bag that I would have had somewhere and not touch this thing with my actual hands.
Mm-hmm.
Put it into the bag and tie it off and take it out with me. Close up the compartment.
And he pulls out a very fancy-looking velvet bag.
Mm-hmm.
Opens it up, and it seems to be lined with almost a fur. Like you don't get a very good look. And he takes the bag that you have brought it in, places it in there, closes it up, puts it inside of his coat, gives you a bow, looks around and says, I know she's excited, and she should be. It's a big step, but this is a very dangerous time for us. The mask makes us feel more invincible than we are. Thank you for looking over her. My boss especially appreciates it. And he... Vamonos. Meanwhile, in the Beso.
Hey, Kristoff. I bet I can turn that frown upside down.
You know the worst thing for an old man is ruining a perfectly good mood, don't you?
But what if I can ensure that it's a good mood now?
I'd say, what are we betting, but...
We don't need to
Alright.
bet money. I've met where Hilda. She's in town. She's going to be coming to see you soon.
My Hildy?
Yeah.
That
Kristoff feels so much has happened.
We did so much tonight.
He is
Only in a few hours.
Alejandro has been found. The crown has been offloaded and is now in possession of Los Vagabundos. Cass has been officially welcomed as a formal member of the secret society of Los Vagabundos. Kristoff's niece is in town. That might come up. And there's so much going on. Plus, more than a little bit of attention. As it turns out, thieves' guilds aren't always the most, shall we say, diplomatic in how they deal with border problems, and neither are eyes and hexes. And so with all of this going on, this is where we are going to draw this episode to a close. Thank you so much again to Squirrels of Darkness for hosting us. Thank you so much to our producer Mootley with everything that she does and keeping this going. We look forward to seeing you all next time, and scene shifts. The sky is red. Wind blows fiercely around, and the two blood witches walk on what appears to be an ocean of blood, breathing hard after hard running. And they look at each other. They're like, well, that was him. What do we do? The device. Where's the device? He gave this to me, and one of them pulls out a coin, intricately worked, and bites his thumb and drops a single bit of blood onto it, and the coin rises up above his hand and starts rotating, and blood starts circling around it, all around, faster and faster and faster, until there is a... And then suddenly, about 10, 15 yards away from them, a figure stands. And unlike them, who have so many cuts and blood just spilling all over them, and clothing that's clearly been worse for wear and time spent in sewers and running from the guards. Everything about him is elegant and regal. His hair back and worked in gold and jewels and gems. And Count Remy Ledieu, portier of Montaigne, steps forward. Both of them give very nervous bows. Hello, Lord. We came like you told us to.
I see that. Did you do what I asked?
Yes. Here, and they pull out a bag and they start showing gems and bedazzled weapons, and none of the weapons are worth, they're worth things. They're gold, they're inlaid, but none of them would be any good in combat. But lots of money, and they're just bringing out all of this stuff that they had brought in.
It's not what I understand that we've only trained for a little while, but I am fairly certain your hearing is still. Did you suffer some hearing loss? Was that you were out there, or I asked for information? Did you see the man I wished for? Did you see the one I was looking for?
Yes. We were in one of the houses, and we were grabbing things, and all of a sudden we heard a bit of a noise, and then there he was. We weren't quite sure. He tried talking to us a bit, tried to see, maybe if we wanted to work with him. Yes, it was him. We were pretty sure at first, and then he spoke, and we caught a little bit of Montaigne on his accent. It was him, and so that was when. That was when Martine was captured by Inquisition guards, but you said not to worry if that happened. And so we immediately, once we were free of them, we came here, and then we activated the device.
Is it followed? Was you followed?
Not into the alleyway. If anyone was chasing us, by the time they found us, the portal had closed.
Yes. Fine. It's fine. You did a lot of communication. I told you just to observe.
Well, we weren't expecting him. We were trying to rob the house that we were in.
Why would you rob this? Excuse me. Maybe there's something we're not quite understanding. You reconnaissance. This is where you're supposed to observe. Maybe I should be clearer, because clearly your hearing is damaged. I believe you're injured.
Yes, these cuts, the bleeding doesn't stop very fast.
Yeah, I see. Let me I just reach out and I grab and I squeeze his wound as physically hard as I can. Let's try again. Give me, and I squeeze harder, more details of Juniper.
Who?
How many men are there? How many are there?
Two.
Is you there? I keep on forgetting the other one. Were you present? Is there anything you know that he doesn't know?
He tackled one of us, the third, who didn't make it out of the window. Took quite a hard fall on his way down. I'm sure we were on the third story. But he, by the time we got into ground level, there was no sign of him. Like I said, we saw Inquisition guards. We had to run.
Gods, you are so incompetent. It's just incompetence. Okay.
We'll do better next time. We will do better next time.
Next time. That is good. That's good. It's good to have humor. I love humor. I love someone to find joy even in darkness and even in failure. People can be traced. Gods, you were gifted power And I let go of the one whose wound I was grasping. And
he just collapsed to the ocean, just whimpering.
But you don't even use these abilities, these gifts, my training. They're the greatest thing that clearly has ever happened to you. And you wasted. Gods at the door. Someone with skill would have never been seen. Someone of my employ should be perfect. If you are not perfect, then what do I have use for you?
Well, we're so new to this.
I asked, what use are you?
Well, we found him.
And also, the gods found you. Where was he last? Give me as specific as you can.
In San Juan, like you suspected, in one of the richer houses, near in the rich section of town, and he gives a couple of street names and an address.
Okay, thank you. Why did we have to go this far route just for you to give me that information?
I'm sorry.
Oh, of course. How many blades did you collect?
Goes through and counts. 4 or 5. Some of the silverware and the gobletware is particularly nice.
Is any of them actually the gobletware or anything actually nice?
They're the sort of things that poor people would think are super expensive. They're not bad, but for you, like this is Castilian opulence, which to someone from Montaigne is quaint.
Yeah, they will make phenomenal companions for you.
You're letting us keep them.
Of course. Look, it's spoils. You found it on your own, and you showed initiative, I guess. So of course, keep them. Enjoy. You'll need them for your next adventure.
Oh, where are we going next?
You're already there.
And he just looks around and his face goes pale.
No, I want you to just imagine something. You can either make some pathetic attempt to plead for your life. You could show yourself to be a credible warrior and try to force me. I would like that. That would be cute. Or you can take your spoils and try your luck. Maybe you'll survive. And you'll become more than I could have ever thought. I doubt. But you'll serve your purpose, and good luck. I suggest properly killing your friend. You'll be good bait for some type of creature, and make a good show of it. Have a lovely au revoir.
And with that, Count Remy Ledoux vanishes.